what you resist is always what will persist in your life. And this is a truth that I have really had to come to terms with because for the longest time, what was staring me in the face is the fact that I need to make some changes. But instead of making those changes and progressing in my life in an orderly fashion, I instead was stuck in a place where I didn't know which way to go. I didn't have any money coming in. I didn't really have a vision for the future that I was bought into because I was so stubborn and I was so stuck on my life progressing in a specific way. But the reality is, I'm not God. You're not God. So if you are trying to tell God, universe, source, how your life is supposed to go, you are always going to suffer, okay? And I was suffering unnecessarily. But at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. And when you learn the lesson and when you know better, you have to do better. So, one of the major changes that I made is that I decided that, you know what? I'm actually just going to try something new. I'm going to leave my ego at the door and I'm going to look at the reality of my life. And the reality of my life is that I am still living in my parents' house and I had no money coming in. So, what should I do to at first resolve the problem of having no money coming in? I should probably get a job. So, I got a job at a retail store and I can't even explain to you how much I absolutely love being in a retail store. See, the thing is, the last time that I worked retail was when I was 19 years old, which was literally 10 years ago because I'm 29 now. And ever since then, I've been chasing all of these shiny carrots. Oh, you have to go into tech. Oh, you have to be a social media influencer. Oh, be on TikTok. Oh, this, oh, that. But when it came down to it, those things didn't authentically resonate with who I truly was. I literally forgot how amazing it is to be in front of people on a daily basis and to help them out with whatever problems they have. And with specifically retail, it's that they need clothes. They're coming into the store and they need to find clothes that suit their style, suit whatever way that they want to express themselves. And I've been enjoying this so much because you learn so much about people by being in front of them. And one of the major things that I have been realizing and recognizing is that I think the online world that greater society has been sold as being super important is literally not as important as it's made out to be. At the end of the day, we are social creatures, okay? We need to interact with people in person in order for us to feel like we have community, in order for society to truly function. And one of the major things that I've learned is that so many people, myself included, get so caught up in what's going on online that we forget that people hide behind random names online, avatars online. But when you're in front of a person, most of the negative comments that you'll get on a TikTok video, those people would never have the chutzpah to say it to your face, okay? And this is why I believe that society is eventually going to move back towards in-person experiences and prize them more heavily than the digital experience because it is a way more human experience than online, okay? We see that robots are coming in, AIs are coming in, but at the end of the day, there are certain things that you can never replace when it comes to humans, and that is how you interact with people in real life. So because I finally got to my wit's end, I was like, you know what, I have to do something different because this isn't working out. I stumbled into something that I guess I never considered before because I was so caught up in the marketing campaign of social media. And I haven't been on TikTok in damn near 3 weeks now. I think it might be 3 weeks actually. No, it's probably like 2.5 weeks. regardless, it's been a good amount of time that I have been completely off of TikTok, and my mental health has exponentially improved, as well as the vision that I have for the future. And one of the major things that I realize is that I think so many of us, we really just want to be seen and heard. So we go to things like social media and we have this idea that we want to be super famous because there is a hole that we have within us where we feel like people aren't seeing us in our lives. So maybe, just maybe, if we become famous as a social media influencer or a musician or an actor, that maybe then, once we have that level of fame, people will finally see and hear us. But it's just not the truth, because there are so many people who are famous who are feeling as if they were prisoners in their own lives, because once you have a certain level of fame, there is a spotlight on your life and people really don't see you as human. So if you are not becoming famous for the reason of you have art that you want to share with the world, you have a mission that you want to share with the world, you want to help as many people as possible, there's really no point to fame. And I think it's really interesting how we've all been tricked into believing that the goal is fame and fortune, when in all honesty, the goal should be self-actualization. And that is the major conclusion that I came to. I want self-actualization. And that has nothing to do with what the outside world thinks about me. It has everything to do with what I think about me, what you think about you. And when you make that the goal of your life, well, then everything is going to be great from there, because when everything starts there, then the reason that you're going to be drawn to doing the different things that you do is because of the fact that you're whole and complete within yourself first. And this is an expression of your soul. And that is truly the goal of the human experience, ultimately. So with this retail job, I'm now looking at it as like, I'm not trying to predict where it's going to go from here. I know that I really enjoy talking with customers, understanding what types of clothing they wear, how the clothes that we have at our store can help them, how I can make the customer experience better, connect with them, make them feel seen and heard, because in all honesty, that's what I've wanted my whole life. So I really believe that the fact that I wanted that my whole life, I make the attempt at creating that environment for the customer. So it just is truly an amazing thing that happened to me, that I kind of just stumbled upon this. But like I was saying before, you have to finally get to that point where your stubbornness ends. You have no other way to go other than to try something different, because it's so clear in your face that you need to change. Because you need to change at some point. Change is going to happen whether you want it to or not. So the best thing for you to do is literally go with the change so that you don't cause more unnecessary suffering. So when it comes to the retail job, I'm really looking at it as a game, and how can I up level in this game as much as possible. But I'm not doing it from a place of ego of like, oh, I want to manage this and I want to be at this position in the company and do that, la 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 la, which is exactly how I was operating before. So I had to kind of grieve my old life. So for the past 2 or 3 days, I have been going through a lot of emotions. I've been feeling a lot of emotions that I've had pent up for quite some time, because I didn't want to be honest with myself. And I recognized that the reason why I would smoke the weed often, that I would drink often, is because I was suppressing my emotions. I did not want to deal with my life. I didn't want to deal with my emotions. I didn't want to deal with the things that happened in the past that I hadn't processed yet. So instead of actually processing them, I decided, you know what? let me just be a little high. Let me just be a little drunk. But the thing is, you're not really dealing with those issues by suppressing them, by numbing yourself. You're only pushing it off to a later time to deal with. So you might as well deal with them now. I mean, listen, it took me a while to even get to this point. So if you're at the point where you're still doing those things, I'm not judging you. I will never judge you. I am literally just sharing my story and telling you that I've literally been there, okay? I've been there. One of my lowest moments was when I was in San Francisco and I was in an alleyway and I was doing key bumps of coke with these two people that I had just met. And afterwards, they gave me $14 and I left in an Uber to go live on the couch or sleep on the couch that I was living on or living at, whatever, in a house that I didn't have a key to, and I would always have to wait until everybody was home to go there. That was my life for like a few months. And I just was so enveloped in the idea that like I'm supposed to be a startup founder, I'm supposed to be doing this, that I couldn't even understand how bad my life was. And I think that's what happens when you are too ego fueled. You know what I mean? When you don't want to reflect on your life and you don't want to be honest with yourself about what's really going on. And the same can be said when it comes to that moment where I decided, you know what, I need to get a retail job because I had an opportunity where it was pretty easy for me to get. So I was like, you know what, I might as well take it, might as well do something different. And now I'm here saying this. So it's when you can really follow those nuggets and you can really let that ego go, let that stubbornness go, and realize that maybe it's not that your dreams are a no, it's just that they're a right now, and there's a different path to achieving those dreams than what you originally thought and what you have been like, yes, it has to be this way, it has to be this way. If it's not this way, I don't want it. But what if there's a better way? What if there is something that is way more authentic to you that you have literally never even tried before? That God, universe, source has been pushing you and prodding you to try, but you're just way too stubborn, way too in your own way to even see. So I hope that this helped you. And I'm going to be doing more videos like this at least once a week, maybe twice a week, in between my retail job. And these are really just my insights that I'm learning about life because I don't have it all figured out. I don't think anybody has it all figured out. And I think anybody who's telling you that they have it all figured out, they're a bit too much in their own ego. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. And just know that when you can be honest with yourself and stop resisting the thing that is right smack in your face, and you instead go with the flow and let the ego go, everything you're in your life will just be way better, and you won't be suffering nearly as much as you've been making yourself.